in my in my
welcome. It's been a while. Two things need to happen. One, hydration. Watch this. Nice. Oh, on to the doorstep number 2. How's your Tasha to everybody out there? Lock it in. Let it begin. This is Niggas and FLYS podcast. And I'm your host, Jupiter Love. Hey, it's been a while, but this is still, of course, the only podcast where we encourage you to get in tune with your purity of divinity. And first, love yourself. You know what I mean? Hey, this is a special edition. Of course, it's the return of the Holy One. Happy Juneteenth. You dig? Look, man, here, it's been a moment. Normally, you would see me with a guest, but I just wanted to do it in this format, much like I do it in the audio version, where I get a chance to speak and share some gems and jewels, or just some ratchet gut bucket shit, because that's where this all started at. You know what I mean? Again, special editions. Big up to Juneteenth. Shout out to all the ancestors. Hence, as always, it's gonna be with Niggas and FLYS. Hydration, libation. Hydration, libation. You don't know what I'm saying out there, people. Come on, man. Cut it out. Stop. Listen, I just wanted to say in respect and reverence to that, not only Juneteenth, because that's one singular day that they're recognizing, but the entirety of the year, because I don't want to encapsulate this piece of, this episode, this piece of content to this one singular day. It's just I want to take this moment to give reverence and respect, first and foremost, to all our ancestors whom we stand on the shoulders of, right? Because if it weren't for them, we would not have been able to make some of the leaps and bounds that we have gotten to thus far, but we still, make no mistake, got a long way to go. Shout out to Cassie. For sure. Man, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. This is a climate that's heavy. It weighs heavy, for sure. Everything now, quotation marks, post-COVID. We've seen the world shut down. With that, we've seen still countless shootings, egregious social injustices, murders. It is indeed a strange time that we live in. But nonetheless, it is no reason to not keep your focus on whatever it is you do. Because I just want to take one moment while I'm doing this to say it's always underneath the hub of Energy Toss Network LLC. We always want to give a big shout out to the plug ATL, Carleaf Legend, Charlene Legend. We appreciate you. You guys have been such an integral and huge part of our journey. Myself, Niggas and FLYS podcast, my wife with Energy Toss radio show, Steady Beats. We're doing the NEGUS plug-in. You guys have been such a critical part of our journey, and still are. So we thank you, and we appreciate you. But moving forward, had to get the shout-outs and the 1-2s out the way. This is just where I sit back, whoever's out there. I'm going to be honest with you folks. I'm just kick back and relax a little bit. I was saying this earlier. I'm still in amazement because I couldn't tell you who really watches this. I'm being honest with you. I've had people ask me because I haven't, done any episodes in a while. Like, oh, yeah, Niggas and FLYS coming back. Niggas and FLYS coming back. I'm be transparent, but it's just I'm being honest. You know, I started to do this out of, like, for one, big shouts out to my mother. My entire life, she told me, hey, look, son, you got the gift of gab. If you could ever find something where you can plug that gift into, you never work a day in your life. And I just happened to stumble into this podcasting. So, hey, Mama, I love you. Mama, we made it. Shout out to you. Look, man. Again, this is definitely going to go in a streamline, and I'm going forward in this and giving reverence to our ancestors. Shameless plug again. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. If you didn't notice by now, it's a mini Juneteenth episode, as it should be, here with me, Jupiter Love, host of NEGUS and FLYS podcast. You dig me? Man, it's just so much to say about everyone who's came before us, all our ancestors. It's way too many volumes. If you get a chance, we really need to sit back oftentimes and think of the sacrifices they've made for us to be able to do any of the things we're doing. You know, huge sacrifices. There are real people in real soft soil, real headstones and real graves right now who's offered up their life. I'm going to take a breath and pause on that. I'm going to say it again. Offered up their life. So that we may do better. You know, better is definitely possible, but it's not the glass ceiling. Because you have to exceed past that. We stand on the shoulders of so many who've came before us. And this particularly for me and the platform that I created, because this is Niggas and FLYS podcast, you know, is much more to being said to my tagline that this is the only podcast that we encourage you to get in tune with your imperial divinity. And that's what the FLYS is, FLYS, first love yourself. Standing on the shoulders of so many who've been, experiences, you know, just totally egregious social injustices, beatings, lynchings, killings, raping, pillaging our ancestors for the juice. Let's be clear, let's make no mistake about it. We are the originators of the remix. Hands down. What I mean by that, we've been thrown so many wrenches, you know, so many curveballs, so many speed bumps that we weren't supposed to overcome at all in any manner. What did we do? Smother with. We took lemons, made lemonade. Not only did we make lemonade, hell, we added extra to it. You know what I mean? We made strawberry lemonade. You know what I mean? We made limeade. We the masters of the remix out here, you know? And one thing, I have this conversation often, and this is true fact, if you know, agree, disagree, makes me no difference, you know? Specifically, those of us whom are citizens, naturally born here in this, speaking loosely, here go the big quotation, ganky, this corporation that we live in called the good old US of A. You feel me? Those of us here who were born here, who were raised here, who were reared here, who learned, who, you know, grew up through all their formative years. Look, man, I call us the curators of the cool. All right? And this is no shot or no disrespect to any other, you know, and I'm not going to speak in terms that all of us can understand. Any other melanated folks around the world, just in particular, let's be clear. Come on, man. Those of us from the Corp USA, we the curators of the cool. For sure. We have one major export that we circumvent the globe with: the culture. We are the culture. We curate the cool. Those of us here in the wilderness of America, the U.S. of A., those melanated folks from the U.S. of A., we curate the cool for the entire world, Craig. The world, Craig. Message. But with that being said, it's still a disconnect, because even though we may not have goods or services or masters of industry that we're actually producing and manufacturing products at a high level to circumvent the globe, it's that one anomaly that we have that's so powerful, and it's a gray area. You got to think about this, right? The culture circumvents the world. Our intellectual property is so powerful, it shapes and molds the context in which everything moves in this world now. You can't sell a piece of bread without incorporating the culture. You can't sell a vehicle without incorporating the culture. Nothing. There's no product now that is not untouched by the culture. I'm saying that to say this, and when they say the culture, loosely speaking, the culture, the product we have created, the IP, we have created that is now just dripped all over the world, and is loosely referred to as the culture. Let's be clear, man. And also I'm saying this, hey, happy Juneteenth again. And also happy birthday to hip hop, because it's dripped and dried, just entrenched globally. Everybody wants a piece of that, cool. Everybody wants a piece of the culture, right? They doing it their own way. All this, right? One thing that I get doesn't sit on my stomach right, because, shout out to Dame Dash. He made it clear and put on the table, coined the phrase culture vulture. Got them culture vultures out there. So just piggybacking on that phrase that he coined, yeah, there's plenty of them out here. One doesn't sit on my stomach right. There's plenty of, again, everybody wants a piece of the culture. There's plenty who come, ooh, let me get that portion. Ooh, let me get a piece of that. Oh, I like that. I want to use this. I want to use that. But here's the thing. They can come in, take pieces of our culture, do whatever they want to, but they can't take pieces of, here's the gotcha to that. They can't freely take pieces of our culture without us greenlighting them. We certify the cool for them without us putting a stamp, because you got to look at it. Let's be clear, folks. Let's look at this in real-time context. Those who are outside, go to quotations again, banger, outside of our culture, who come in, right? To me, I could care less whether you can say, oh, yeah, I was raised in this neighborhood, whatever. There's still volumes that you can't relate to, for one, because it's not chromosomally in you. No offense, whatever. You can come in, be a visitor, come in and come in and remix your own way, our culture. But here's what doesn't sit on my stomach right. When I watch these individuals do this, pillage our culture, we certified the cool on them to make a way for them to establish wealth for their family. And at any given moment, they feel like it. Let me clear my throat. I got a hydration. Hold on. And at any given moment, when they feel like it, they pull the plug and, speaking loosely, proverbially, go back home. We don't go back home. We in it. We are it. We don't get to like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. Oh, I got the bag. I made the bag. I'm cool. My family said, oh, kids went to the best schools, so-and-so Rhodes Scholar. Hey, everybody set up. Oh, now we can go back home and kick back. We don't get to go back home because we are it. So I really agree with Dame Dash on that. Kudos to that, according to the phrase culture vulture, because that's the part that really doesn't sit right on my stomach with it. Because it's like, oh, yeah, I get to do this? This is what we doing? Oh, you get to come, raking the dough boy, and when you feel ready and get tired of it, like, I don't feel like it anymore. I made enough. I'm going to go back home. You know exactly what I'm saying. It's our platform. Can't nobody stop me. You want to go back home to your people. Cut and dry. We don't go back home because we are home. You came into our home, exploited our shit, and then you get to go back home sitting on a bag, living a life of Raleigh. Shame on you. Should be a damn shame to yourself, but I know you're not. Because it's just not your nature. Whatever. You know, first should be last and last should be first. Let's be clear on that. You know? Yeah. The quote, the illustrious, Honorable Lewis, oh, your time is coming. Yeah, your time coming, man. You can't just going around taking bits and pieces and using things at your own will, and it's okay while we starve, while the creators and inventors starve. You know, there's another thing I think about, for real. Follow me on this one, folks. I'm really curious about this. I'm not making a joke. This is not, me being humorous. This is no tongue in cheek. I'm dead ass serious, curious about this. How does a, right-wing extremist, a neo-Nazi, Christian Knight, how do they fare in the world? Now, you saw the names I just dropped, so we're clear on what the manifesto is. But how does that work for you when you really bust it down? You got to stop doing a lot of things in life. You can't drive a car. You better take that AC out your home. Take the HVAC out. You need to be hot during the summer. Throw your cell phones away. Let's be clear. We got a lot that you can't do. Kill that refrigerator. You just got to live off the land. You know what I mean? Oh, your children get sick, got some upper respiratory problems. Be like, okay, yeah, give them some, Theraflu and rub that Vicks on them. How'd that work out? How'd it work out for you? Oh, don't break that congestion out of their chest. What do I got to say? Oh, trigger warning. Oh, I'm not having you rub that nigga gel on my baby chest. Come on, man. There's a lot of stuff you got to stop doing. How do you live in the world? We created too much. Stop playing. You should be a damn shame to yourself. You know what I mean? It's the differential between man and mankind. What I'm discussing here goes far beyond race, creed, color, national origin, sexual preference. I don't care about, take all that off the slate. Move that out the way. You know what I mean? When it comes down to the haves and have-nots, when it comes to a day when you're alongside with someone that you may not share the same ideologies, same manifestos, same lifestyle with, and it's, oh, you hungry? Oh, you hungry? Oh, my stomach been growling for days too. Yours too? Well, if we band together, we can go out here, hunt, bring food back, take it. What are you going to do? Look at them like, nah, I'm not doing that with you because you're, and then throw whatever label is in there. That shit sound stupido's way. Come on, man. We got to do better out here, people, We absolutely have to do better, It's history versus the heretics. If you're familiar with the historical context and the facts of whom's originators, whom did this, whom taught whom what, all right, if that's already established, what else we talking about, man? What else we talking about? It's a lot of stuff that it just don't sit right on my stomach, Why are we, quotation, why are we melanated folks? Bam, bam. Why are we out here doing things like fighting, killing, and arguing over designer garments? High fashion. Ooh, 2,500 cotton thread count. The finest of leather. Whom taught who what? if it were not for people just like us, the ones you're buying that shit from now would never know the artistry of being able to do it. Whom do you think taught them crafting leathers? Whom do you think taught them weaving? Whom do you think taught them textiles? Again, culture vulture shit. Come in, oh, I like that. Oh, I don't know. Teach me that. Oh, thank you. Yeah, get out the way. I see something that could make a better way for me and mine. Yeah. Appreciate the info. Kick rocks. We got to do better out here, man. We got to do better, you know. A lot of stuff just don't sit right on my stomach on a regular basis, you know. It's almost like a pseudo sub episode. Yes, this is Niggas and FLYS podcast, you know. Subtitle, What's Bothering Me? You know what I mean? Get a little sauce you want. You know? Too much crazy killing. You know? Insanity. Straight insanity. Out here arguing over gun laws or who can amass the most ammo. Guns and artillery don't kill people. Dumbass people who don't know gun safety kill people. We've skewed everything. It's something real different about the corporation in the USA. You feel me? Because a corporation disguised as a country has skewed and manipulated every angle of everything. You know? Politics. What? They got us so off the Richter in our community. We are at a disconnect and don't understand whom moves pieces on the chessboard that affect our daily life. We're too busy, quick to pop a top and get angry with one of our own over silly shit. Of argument. Oh, you stepped on my shoe. Oh, you did. I felt like what you said disrespected me. Oh, I'm going to spin the block. None of the people you laying down, fighting with in the street, murdering the street that look like you, really have the ability, what you're really angry at, that's affecting your daily life. Oh, I got to do this because I got to eat. There's no finances, so I got to do this. Legal, illegal, whatever. An excuse is, whom do you think is creating and passing these laws? Somebody, typically that doesn't look like you, sitting on Capitol Hill, getting a nice little regular check plus side per diems from lobbyists. Come on, man. You got to think about a lot of stuff not sitting right on my tummy on a regular basis. That is called what's bothering me. A whole bunch of shit. You know what I mean? You got to think about, again, it's history over the heretics. You got to understand the differential. You know? For those of us who didn't pay attention or didn't bother to dig deep enough, those are one of the things they taught you how this corporation was founded. When they were fighting amongst each other, said it was the ballot or the bullet. Well, I guess the fucking bullet won, didn't it? Come on, man. You don't amass power. Let's be clear. Yes, we should all strive for continuity, peace amongst one another. But you got to see and know what you're looking at. Let's be clear. No one amasses power and the strategy to get it through a peaceful means. They take it. That's how they got there. They've been taking everything. They come in, oh, yeah. Oh, who are these people? Hey, check this out. I got some whiskey and a couple of these paper notes. You want some? Yeah, let me get all this right here. Yeah, we can move you off on the shittiest part of land there is. We call it a reservation. We'll build our cities up, put industry in there, keep bringing revenue in. You can still stay out on what we're going to call a reservation, which is typically the shittiest parcel of land there is, even though it was yours first. And then want to make you feel like, this ain't yours, it's mine. You can't take mine back. Woo, we got to do better. This is fucking ridiculous. I mean, anyway, I digress. Woo, I appreciate it. Haven't been here for a long time, you know. Hey, it's the return of the Holy One. Niggas and Flies podcast. You know. Only on Energy Toss Network LLC. I am your host, Jupiter Love. Listen, in closing, always, wait a minute. Gotta lift it up. Hydration. Reverence to the ancestors. Shout out to you. Happy Juneteenth, y'all. It's always in closing. This is NEGUS and FLYS podcast, the only podcast where we encourage you to get in tune with your imperial divinity and first. Love yourself. I'm your host, Jupiter Love. Thank you for joining me. It's only on Energy Toss Network LLC. Bijay.
In my in my